This specimen is one of the most colorful animals that exist, and for this reason, it is considered exotic. It is native to China, Japan, and Russia. It usually inhabits areas close to lakes, ponds, or lagoons. With unmatched elegance and an explosion of color, this duck is considered a sign of good fortune in Asian beliefs. In fact, it is often given as a wedding gift in China. Elegant and robust in build, it can reach a length of 45 centimeters, exhibiting pronounced sexual dimorphism. Females and males only resemble each other when the male is protected by his eclipse plumage. The male is an unmistakable bird. It has a red crest with metallic green highlights on the forehead and two very light-colored white or cream side stripes, accentuated by dark eyes, and a coral red bill. Resembling a beard, it has feathers of a coppery orange color. The chest and throat are purple, the belly is white, and the flanks are a cream tone with two bluish bands that lead to orange curves that rise upwards. The female is quite similar to the female of the Mandarin duck. She has much more subdued plumage, browns and ochres on her upper parts, a ring and a white band around the eye, and paler lower parts with mottled flanks. In school, we are taught that the speed at which light travels is 299,792,458 meters per second. It sounds like a lot, doesn't it? The problem is that no one bothered to give us an example. Imagine you want to travel around the world. If you did it at the speed of light, it would only take you 0.13 seconds. In just 1 second, you would complete 7.5 laps around the planet. It is so fast that it only takes 1.25 seconds to reach the moon, 2.5 seconds if we take into account the return trip. To Mars, which is 54.6 million kilometers away, it takes just 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Now, this is not just a meaningless number. Polar bears are white. They are not. In fact, their skin is black and their hair is transparent. Each hair scatters and reflects visible light, making them appear white. Surely, like me, you are wondering what animal leaves these footprints in the snow. The answer is somewhat funny and amusing. Watch the otter in action. These are the works of Mexican artist Gabriel Dague. They are composed of thousands of multicolored threads that give the impression of being rays of light. It looks like a rainbow. The flowers of the Anguloa uniflora orchid are shaped like a cradle with a very happy baby inside. Have you ever had a pencil so small that it is impossible to use? Let us introduce you to the Tsunago sharpener. This one has a couple of extra holes. YouTuber Luis Wise has created the longest and most resistant candy rope in the world. It is so strong that it can tow a car. Do you remember that in the past, the lid of McDonald's McFlurry ice creams had this shape? That changed in 2006, when the Hedgehog Protective Association won a campaign for the chain to redesign their cups, as hedgehogs were getting stuck and dying. This is how they promoted the Netflix series We Are Dead in Thailand. They equipped this bus with screens instead of windows. This was the most socially distanced office in New York. This floating platform has everything you need to work. It even has internet connection. It was created during the lockdown by Improv Everywhere. The bald eagle builds the largest nests in the world. The largest one recorded was about 3 meters wide and 6 meters high. It weighed over 2 tons. This is how professional javelin throwers train. This peculiar rolling weight mimics the motion they make when throwing the javelin. This is the largest wine barrel in the world. It is located in Heidelberg Castle in Germany. It is 271 years old and can hold 219,000 liters. It measures 7 meters wide by 8.5 meters long. The tiger moth caterpillar looks like a gummy candy. In the 2012 film Wreck-It Ralph, the high score we see at the top of the video game is a reference to Walt Disney's birth date, December 5, 1901. This is a Kabaraya arrow. In the past, one of these arrows was fired before a battle. It was believed that the whistle frightened evil spirits and alerted friendly gods to lend their support. Fleischmann's frogs often flatten their bodies on leaves to hide. It looks as if the leaf has a pair of eyes. They are called crystal or glass frogs because their bones and organs are visible through their thin skin. If you love music and barbecue, this invention is perfect for you. Handy Gang created this unique piano grill tricycle. It's not a joke. It has a motor to move the chassis, and each piano key is connected to a skewer. Industrial shredders are really tough. They can devour practically anything. In Finland, speeding fines are calculated based on your income, causing some millionaires to pay fines of up to $100,000. The more you earn, the higher the fine. The HZ-1 Aerocycle was a personal helicopter developed in the mid-50s. The project was abandoned after 2 accidents. Who came up with that idea? Some spiders build hinged doors made of silk in their burrows. This is Crush Metric, an aluminum pen that changes shape when a switch is activated. The technique is called tessellated origami. Did you notice that Bruno from Encanto has a plant very similar to Wally's? It's even inside the same boot. He is Eli Bishop, the current Guinness World Record holder for the most claps in 1 minute. This stray kitten got into a lynx enclosure at the Leningrad Zoo looking for food. The curious thing is that both were babies. The lynx accepted the kitten, and now they are best friends. They have been together for over 10 years. Razorfish have a peculiar way of swimming vertically with their heads down. This is to blend in and camouflage themselves in vegetation. They look like floating leaves. This canned cake came out of a vending machine in Japan. Looks delicious. Look at how this dog looks behind a textured glass. It looks like something out of Minecraft. Students at the International Art University created Makutur, a collection of clothing made entirely from restaurant food packaging, from hamburger box bras, French fry miniskirts, to a wedding dress made entirely of wrappers. This is the world's largest treehouse. It's located in Tennessee and is 97 meters tall. It took 250,000 nails to build. Tickets for the Titanic were extremely expensive. First-class cabins cost £30 at the time, which today would be around $4,000. Second-class tickets were £12, equivalent to $1,500 today. Third-class tickets ranged from £3 to £8, $400 to $1,000 nowadays. Does a blue tarantula exist? It's called Poecilotheria metallica. Its striking color comes from the reflection of light on nanocrystals within its hairs. It must be one of the strangest watches you will ever see. The lash clock's frame is covered in eyelashes. The minutes and hours can be read thanks to the gap created between the fibers. This juggling robot performs some pretty impressive tricks. Unlike their smaller relatives, tigers enjoy spending time in the water. They love to swim. Mothers encourage cubs to swim from a very early age. In Encanto, Antonio is named after San Antonio Abad. He is the patron saint of animals. This was the show during the opening of the Donbass Stadium in Ukraine. The coordinated movement of hundreds of people created this incredible effect. Here we can see some angles from the field of how the people were moving. Smile Cloud's company prints shapes and messages on soap bubbles. They are so light that they float in the air. This is what a sand dollar cookie looks like up close. They are flat sea urchins that live on the ocean floor. The microscopic spines collect minerals from the sand, grain by grain, and bring them to their mouth. This is how space lollipops are made. They place dark and transparent caramel in molds. When they cool down, they place an image of a planet or star printed on edible paper on one side, seal it, and use a small torch to melt the caramel so the image can be seen inside. The Motorola Dynatac 8000 is considered the first mobile phone in history. This brick weighed almost a kilo, and its battery took 10 hours to charge, but when in use, it only lasted 30 minutes. At 3:45 a.m. on September 20, 2020, 3,051 unmanned drones broke the record for the largest aerial drone show, at least up to that point. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, let us know if there is anything you didn't know. I'll read you in the comments.